Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you hear knocking and pounding and stuff like that, it's next door. They're building a house next door and working on a Saturday at 3 in the afternoon. So what can I do? Nothing. But if you're here, it's because you are here for the Future Dew from Glossier review and how to wear. So what I'm going to be doing is I will be inserting clips of how you can wear this in I think 5, maybe 6 ways. Honestly, can't remember. I just had to go to the urgent care of my boyfriend and we're back now. He like slit his whole hand open, but and before I forget to mention, I do have a Glossier 10% off code. So if you want 10% off of this or anything else Glossier, just click the link in the description box below. I'm just gonna be doing some voiceovers today so you can see how it applies, what it looks like. And I've also done some kind of like time lapse. So I will have timestamps below for each application and you can kind of go through that if you'd like, or you can watch the whole video. There are definitely probably more ways you can wear it than how I've done it, but I think that these are kind of like the biggest ones. Right now I'm actually wearing it with the Drunk Elephant D-Bronzi tint. So it's just this and this and this. And I've had it on now for about 4 hours. So this is what it kind of looks like after 4 hours. But go ahead, just watch the video, let me know what you think, and if you have tried this out. And give this video a like and subscribe if you're not, it always helps. I know I say it multiple times, but very small channel and everyone does help. So without further ado, here's the rest of the video.
So I started out with just one pump. If you look on the instructions, it says to use 2, but I wanted to try it with 1 because I just had a feeling that 2 might be a little too much. And as I always say, you can go in with more, but it's a little harder to take it off if you need to. So I'm just going over my entire face. You could do the high points of your face, but for this one, I wanted to just do everywhere. And there we have it. Definitely shiny, definitely glowy, but it actually does soak in, which you will see later. Next up, we have 2 pumps. I went in over the first pump that I had already put on my face. You could, of course, do 2 pumps into your hand and then go onto your face. Whichever way you find to be the best is fine by me, of course, and you. So I'm just putting it all over my face like before. Nothing too fancy here. And this one definitely was a little bit more dewy than I would prefer. I think it's a lot to handle, to be completely honest. But what I also did was I let it sink in, as you can see, and I think actually even just 30 minutes and it had sunk in a little bit. It's a little hard to tell in the video, but I did definitely find that it had sunk in and wasn't as glowy. Next up, underneath makeup, this is actually number 3, but you know, we're just going to go with it. So I already have the base cover of the Future Dew on, and now I'm going in with the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer, and I'm just putting that over the Future Dew that I have. And I always use my hands, so I kind of just sticking with that. I wanted to try it on just one side of my face just so you could see the difference. So that is what you can see here. And you can definitely see the glow through the makeup. And then I wanted to just go back, obviously, to go over the other side of my face so it would be complete. But it definitely shows through the makeup, and as the day goes on, I have more normal to combination skin. So as the day went on, I definitely could see it coming through and verging on being a little greasy and oily by the end of the day. So I think I stopped counting at this point, but I'm going to be doing it over makeup. So I've taken it off, I put a base layer of the Laura Mercier on, and now I'm just putting it, really dabbing it on with my fingers on just the high points of my face. And you do have to be a little careful just so you don't move all the makeup on underneath, but I didn't find it to be so troublesome. And this is what it looks like. I thought that it actually looked pretty natural, and I didn't find that it was overly shiny throughout the day, this method. So this one might be a really great method for a lot of you out there. Okay, number 4, 5, 6, whatever. Mixing it with foundation. Now, I don't think Glossier says that you can do this, but whatever, we make our own rules around here. So 1 pump on my hand of the Future Dew, and then some of the Laura Mercier, and I use my finger to kind of mix them together. It actually ends up being a really pretty combination just on my hand. And I think it's a fun way of doing it because you don't have to worry about getting it exactly in the right place. You just kind of are doing a science experiment. And you're getting coverage, but you're also getting that dewy shine. Again, it's pretty dewy. This was with 1 pump. And if you have very dry skin, this may be a really good way to go. Okay, so we're mixing it with bronzer. Yeah, I don't know which number this was, but it's definitely one of the ways that I really prefer it, especially in the winter time. I mixed the D-Bronzi from Drunk Elephant with the Future Dew. I did the exact same thing where I pumped some out on the back of my hand and I mixed them, which was lovely. Just for shits and giggles, it was really nice. You could use any liquid bronzer that you like. You do not have to use this one. That's just what I had. And I again went in with my hands, but you could use a brush, you could use a sponge. You know, you really just do what you think is best. I would caution against using too much bronzer, especially if you're very fair-skinned. You might end up being a little too dark and a little too shiny altogether. But I really loved this method and it soaked into my skin and felt super moisturized. Last thing to note, if you do want to, you should probably pull it down your neck a little. I missed that, but it just makes it more cohesive.
Okay, so those were the application methods. Those were the ones that I thought of and I've tried, but I'm sure there are some maybe that I've forgotten. So really, in essence, you can do a lot with this little guy. I think it is a really interesting kind of, I would say, unique product on the market. There's not a ton out there like that. And I say that because this is really more skincare than makeup. You can obviously make it into makeup, as I've done almost with all of my application methods, but it is skincare, and for that reason I think it is unique in a lot of ways. It does have a very strong scent of rosemary, which is an odd thing to be putting on your face. At first, when I smelled it, I couldn't figure it out, but once you realize it's rosemary, you're like, oh, that's odd. That like should go inside of a roast chicken or something, not on my face. But it's not offensive. Now, if you have sensitivities to rosemary, probably essential oil, steer clear from it, but that's just one thing to keep in mind. And it is a strong scent. It's not subtle, but it doesn't last on your face all day. It's just when you pump it out. I would say that if you have oily skin, this is probably, again, not for you. I did another video, I will post it above, and that was testing out the Josie Maran tinted sunscreen, and that one was another one that's not for oily skin. I would say that this is probably not for oily skin either, because it is an oil, well, they call it an oil serum hybrid. So if you're not going to put it on your face for skincare, probably you wouldn't want it for makeup. And then also for textured skin, I think like a highlighter, it draws attention to wherever you put it. So if you have textured skin somewhere, maybe just be a bit more cautious about where you put it. For dry skin, normal to dry skin, it's going to be wonderful. And I think it really does actually sink in a little bit more, but kind of still give you this glossy kind of look. Oh, and the last thing I wanted to say is that it does last. This is 4 hours later, and it's dry out. It is currently 48 degrees. It's not like a humid day where I would be sweating. This is just a shine from it 4 hours ago. And that said, I have used this and I've gone all day, worked all day, and then worked out, and afterward I still saw hints of it on my face. So it does last, and they say that it is supposed to be, I think, 12 hours, and I'd say that they're about right. It lasts a long time. So do with that what you will. I'm not telling you to go out and buy it. I think it's unique, so if you are drawn to it, maybe do, but if you know you don't want it, it's not gonna change my life just by owning this. I don't think that is the case. I will probably wear it on no makeup days the most. I just find that it gives your skin a really healthy, plump, like refreshed look, but it's not gonna change my life at all. So, and don't forget, I have a code for Glossier if you want 10% off. It's in the description box below, so be sure to use that. And let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!